Hello and welcome. It's time for
Welcome.
the Black Belt Newscast. And this week, while we are live, this week we are going to talk about the 2024 year in review.
Yay!
Yeah, there
Happy
is
Friday,
so much
everybody.
we only have a couple of days left of 2024.
That's amazing.
So we wanted to do a little roundup of, and this is in no specific order.
No, and there's
Although,
so many things happen. We just have a few that we picked out.
yes, no specific order, and not saying that one is better than the other, bigger than the other, although we might lead with some of the bigger items because there's just a lot to cover in 6 counties, right?
Very much so.
Okay, of course, I am Cindy Fisher and I'm the publisher.
And I'm Todd Prater, staff writer.
Yes. And so we come to you guys every Friday with our live newscast. All of the content that we talk about is coming from blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. So you can always see these stories and all of our content at all times, live and ready to go. You can send your news to news@blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. We can't be everywhere. So sometimes we need your help to make sure we can
Please.
cover everything. Send us your videos and your photos and sign up for our daily newsletter. Every day at 3 o'clock, our headlines come to you guys, thousands of you guys. And that is how you can stay up to date with what's going on in your region. And so just keep us informed with what you've got going on and want to see us do. So 2024 year in review. Let's dig in.
Let's do it.
One of the biggest things that happened in the Black Belt this year was the
Oh,
approval
yeah.
of the healthcare high school that will be coming to Demopolis. This is Governor Kay Ivey making the announcement about, yeah, look at that crowd at the
Big
Civic Center in
crowd in the
Demopolis.
Demopolis Civic Center that day for the signing of the bill.
And you were there.
Right. I was there, and of course, she signed the bill and signed into law the Alabama School of Healthcare Sciences. That is the site where it will be built. That is the New Era building, and it was empty. It had been vacant for quite a while. So that land was deeded over to the Healthcare High School, the Alabama School of Healthcare Science Foundation, and they have since cleared it, and it is actually ready for the school to be
There
built.
it
That's
is.
it. There it is now.
That's what it looks
Uh,
like now.
that's what it looks like now, and it's right behind the Whitfield Memorial Hospital. So the kids that go to school there will be able to walk to the hospital for their training. And this is big, not just for Demopolis, but it just happens to be in Demopolis. It's big for the Black Belt because of our lack, or we're in an area that is kind of starved for healthcare workers. And the idea, of course, is to train them, and hopefully they will love living in the Black Belt area and spread throughout the Black Belt to bring better health care to the whole Black Belt region.
And it's a similar school to the fine arts
Right, up in
and
Birmingham. Yeah,
and the math and science school that
down in
are
Mobile.
state schools that are residential for the students.
Exactly, yeah.
They live there. And this one will be, and it was a real coup to get it in Demopolis. There was
Oh, it was.
the first effort, and then they pushed back and said, oh, no, we don't want it in Demopolis. We want it somewhere else. But there was a lot of leadership that pushed this forward in Demopolis to make sure that it would happen. And that foundation, as you mentioned, is still very active, still working
Yeah,
toward
they are.
hiring people. So in 2025, you will see us writing more stories about the efforts to build, because I think it's supposed to break ground in June, would be nice, is what they
I
were
believe
saying,
that's correct.
with the goal of it opening in fall of 2026. So there's a lot of work that's going to be done next year that we will keep you posted on. That's really exciting part
Oh,
of for the Black Belt and for Demopolis especially.
yeah.
So next topic is leadership in Selma.
Oh,
In our print edition of the Selma Sun, one of the things we talked about for the year in review specifically for Dallas County was the Selma leadership issues. Not only did we have fighting between the mayor and the council throughout 2024. But we also had the police chief was put on leave in April, which was not new. He'd already been put on leave before. And there's been a battle over who the fire chief is going to be.
Right.
And that's been an interim one for years. And so a lot of issues with leadership. You know, the superintendent of Selma left after only 2 years, citing issues with the board, and he retired. And so
Right.
they are in search of a new superintendent for the Selma City Schools. And Dallas County superintendent also said that he's not staying after his contract ends in June. He does not want to renew. So Dallas County will be looking for a new superintendent as of June. So leadership is a big issue in Selma, Dallas County for 2024, and it's going to push into 2025.
There'll be a lot of stuff for us to write about as we follow those stories to see where they lead and who's going to pick up the ball and run.
Yes. In fact, and I was going to talk about this at the end. We can talk about it again. There's an election in 25.
Yes.
So municipal elections were pushed off by 1 year so that they were not along with the federal election, which we, of course, we just had the big national election. And so you're going to see a lot of elections and leadership changes in 25 as folks line up for new jobs, especially in Selma. The mayor is up for re-election, and it's been 5 years now instead of 4.
Right.
So that'll be interesting for 2025. So
we don't know
another
yet who's running, but it's coming.
It is. Okay. So another big issue in 2024 was the old school, the historic old school in Demopolis that city leaders wanted to renovate into condos and apartments, and the neighbors and the public didn't want it.
No, they did not want it. There was going to be a number of apartments within the building. They were also going to build in the empty lot behind the old school building, more little condos, townhome type condos on that lot right there. However, the community rallied against it because they were afraid that low rent condominiums were going to be put in there, which the developer said that's not what's going to happen. But nonetheless, the neighborhood said, we don't want the old school to be apartments or condos. We want the old school, what they eventually decided, to be a cultural arts center. So they went in front of the city council numerous times, actually, and let their feelings be known. And eventually the city council had to capitulate. And, of course, there was a number of council members who were on the side of the neighborhood, some who wanted the apartments. But ultimately, the citizens prevailed, and the city government said, well, that's what the people want. So the Historical Society, Demopolis Marengo Historical Society has a proposal now to turn it into a cultural arts center. And of course, that's going to be the big story for 2025, is where that particular situation leads and how it's developed and where the funding is going to come from. So they've talked about a number of different grants and loans and whatnot that are available. So we'll be following that closely through 2025 as well.
Yes, we will, because that one actually had a developer involved that does smaller projects, and that developer is actually also involved in the Dallas Academy building.
Yes, that's
in
right.
Selma, there is talks of a bid that was made for Dallas Academy, which is another historic property. It needs so much work, a lot of these, that it turns off a lot of developers, but these are developers that are interested in it. So we will keep you posted.
Invictus is the name of the company.
Well, Invictus, but Lathan is actually
that's right. Yeah,
with Invictus is one of the investors. But we will keep you posted in 2025 on how that goes. So another big thing that happened in 2024 was a bunch of gaming facilities popped up in Dallas County. We didn't see them in the other counties. They kind of saw this opening possible openings saying that they were legal. Building or business permits were allowed for them. And the city of Selma took taxes for each machine.
Right.
But the attorney general, the state attorney general, determined that it was not legal, and in August shut down many of them. I want to say there were 30 that were shut down. This one is on 80, but we saw them popped up all over Dallas County, and we actually just had a story in December about one that was shut down again out of a residential home.
Yeah, 17 machines were found in a residential home, and they made an arrest and shut down those 17 machines as well.
Right. So that was a big issue in 2024. We don't expect to talk about it in 25, but who knows? There could be more.
When I talked to the sheriff, he said that they keep popping up every now and then. I talked to him for that story we did last week. So it could be that we have to talk about them again. We hope not, but you never know.
Well, and crime was an issue in 2024, big time, in most of our communities, but big time in Dallas County. And so what Selma did was decided to put in these surveillance cameras. Now, this was a multi-year discussion and argument between the council and the mayor, as I mentioned, lots of arguments, and over who was going to provide, whether it was going to be Alabama Power or whether it was going to be local company Cellcom. Cellcom ended up winning out, and that is these SkyCop camera surveillance things that you see now all over town. You didn't notice them before, right?
Yeah, but now you see the little blue light flash, and you know that's what it is. And you know something else, Cindy, that I noticed on social media, a lot of people don't understand that these are not tag readers. They don't read the license plates of cars. All they do is show the police department what's going on in that area. You know, they're aimed certain directions so they can see cars driving, but a lot of people think they're tag readers, but they're not.
But it should be a deterrent because, a lot of times.
It's a deterrent. And according to Chief Fulford, when I spoke with him in the past, they have already solved a stolen vehicle crime and gotten some leads on other crimes because of the Sky Cops that are up already.
Right. So hopefully that will continue to make a difference.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Construction of, just like with the healthcare high school construction, School of Discovery, Selma City Schools, while they had Dr. Zacchaeus Bird there, actually started on a brand new school for the first time in, I think it was 20 years.
I think it's 20, yeah.
So this is going to be a middle school, and it's meant to be an arts-related school, encouraging them to participate in the arts. And so it's going to be a enrichment type school. And so this is on Washington that it's being built. And you've got some new video for me. I haven't seen this in a little while.
This is some of it. They're working hard getting it built over there.
Or the auditorium. They kept the old auditorium.
Yeah, they kept the old auditorium, but they rebuilt
and knocked the rest of it down.
Yeah.
Yep. So we will keep up with that in 25 as they do more construction. And it's neat to see. Any construction is always good, but they used a lot of COVID funds that is not re-uppable. You had to use it. So it was sort of a use it or lose it. So it was a good opportunity for them that they found. So, another thing that happened in 24 was talking about lighting the Edmund Pettus Bridge.
Yeah.
That effort is still in place, and they are hoping to light it. This probably won't happen now at this point, but they were hoping to light it by the time that the next Jubilee came. The 2025 Jubilee is the 60th anniversary, and we are expecting that to be huge. The organizers have been planning for longer than the 59th, hoping to get some really good speakers. But in 24, the Jubilee, brought in the vice president, Kamala Harris. The year before, we had President Joe Biden. So it brings in really big names, and the 60th should bring in some pretty big names. So we like to wrap up, one of the biggest, or the biggest for the Black Belt tourism is the Bridge Crossing Jubilee in March.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge every
Hands
year.
down the biggest one of the year.
And this year, like you said, Cindy, is probably going to be one of the biggest ever because it is the 60th anniversary. So we'll be really interested to see who's coming.
It draws to Montgomery, gets a lot of action, and also Marion has a role that they play, and and Lowndes County has a big role.
That's right. I mean, the road to Montgomery started in Marion and goes all the way down 80 through Lowndes County and so they have celebrations. And this year, I think it's going to be bigger in Marion and in Lowndes County as well, since it's been a long time, but a lot of people didn't recognize how important Marion and Lowndes County were to the bridge crossing and to the march. But I believe that's starting to come to the forefront. So we're looking for even bigger celebrations in both of those counties as well.
Yes. In fact, I think I already have added to, I do a community calendar, guys. And I love my calendar. I'm babying that thing. And I have added a couple. Yeah, I've added a couple of things to the calendar, including the bike rides. The Marion to Selma there's in February a bike ride, and that's Black Belt Benefit Group is doing. And then there's also another event that is March 16th-ish. So look for that. That's a week or 10 days after the Jubilee. So lots of activity we're already seeing coming up. Another thing, let's talk about industry for a minute. It's big for us. Let me take that off. It's big for industry anytime we can get it. Tell us about what happened down here.
Out at Craig Airfield, there's a lot of new industries that have located there. We've talked about Coal Clasher Pipe is there now, and they're about to start producing pipe out there. As you look at the FBO there, the Resicum company has not only completely renovated the FBO, the terminal, but they're also turning it into a tactical training center. We covered this story in 2024. That's a group out of England that came over here to practice and to learn about paratroopers and jumping out of helicopters. They also have a complete shooting range that can teach different methods of shooting and different angles and whatnot. But they also have a lot of industry coming out there. And it's going to be interesting to see what all Jim Corrigan and our EDA director, Wayne Vardaman, have worked on to get to come out there. There's a lot of new industries that are going to be locating out there, and they can't even tell us about all the details yet because these things are so highly secretive. But we're going to have a story coming up too, a little more detail about some of the improvements that are going to happen at the airfield to help bring in more industry. I mean, in 24, we had Resicom and the Advanced ATC. That's the other one that came out. So there's now an air traffic control school that's home based there at the Craig Field. And that's Jim Corrigan. The group, his team, the people that he credits for all the work actually put his name on that airplane because they wanted to honor him for all the great things he's doing out at the field. We covered that story last week. So we thank
and that airplane is at the entrance to
Craig that's when you drive in. Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
And that's an F-80. It's an F-80. And your dad straightened me out on that. So I want to thank him for that. Because I'm not good on the older stuff, like now World War II stuff, but I thought it was a different airplane. He said, no, that's an F-80. Go look. And I went, and he's right. So
I'm going to show you also right here, Demopolis Airport actually moved forward on a $5 million renovation improvement project in September 23. So that's something that they were working on during 24. So
Right.
it's not just the Selma
Yeah.
airport. A lot of them are seeing the benefit to having a really good setup for planes coming in and out. They don't have quite the industrial show, but
But they
Demopolis
can.
has a decent airport that they have redone.
And Vaden Airport in Perry County is also making some improvements. They've got a
That's
refueling
right. They
station there
added
now.
refueling.
Yeah, and they have plans to do some more work. They're coming out of a bad financial situation. Donald Bennett's working hard to get that
Hopefully
airport
coming
back
out of
on
it. Yeah.
track. So it's going to be a little more time, but that's another black belt airport that's really making strides to help bring in industry to the area by improving itself and making it attractive to industry.
So, 2023 was when we had the tornado that hit Selma, but 24
Mm,
was a really big rebuilding year. And
Maybe.
this is some before and after.
Right.
We'll see the after here in a minute, but it's been quite amazing. We actually had a story last week about the long-term recovery group and the continuing efforts that they've made at almost 2 years in. Tell us about that.
Well, like you said, it's been right at 2 years, and still there are scars from the tornado that have not been removed yet. This video right here is actually a year after the tornado, so here we are going on 2 years, and we still have areas that have problems. Folks like the Mennonites, Samaritan's Purse, there have been a number of groups that have been in Selma and in Dallas County helping to recover from the tornado. And the Mennonites have actually built 4 homes. Samaritan's Purse built a home or 2. I don't remember the exact number they built, but they from scratch built homes. Now they're in a repair mode. They're actually repairing some of the other homes that weren't completely destroyed. So there's still groups coming in from out of town that are helping folks here in Selma who were hardest hit by that tornado nearly 2 years ago. And that's another story that, according to Jay Gilmer, who heads up the long-term recovery group, will continue into 25 because there's still that much work to be done.
And there was another really sad part of 2024, and that was
More than 600 people packed Christ the
that I thought I got rid of the sound on that. I'll
Oops.
actually play that in a second. We lost a football player in
Mm-hmm.
August, Morgan Academy player Caden Tallier, and that really he's 16, junior, really tore up the town and the community, because it wasn't just him. Right around the same weekend, we lost a Selma High student who had died of a gunshot wound to the head. Both died of head injuries, different types, but very
Yeah.
sad and real awakening for the community, losing young people,
Oh,
and
yeah.
what we need to think about for um, the future of our kids.
Oh, yeah.
And whether it's playing football safely or gun safety. And so yeah, tough year for a lot of people, with the sadness of the loss of the students. That now Caden Tallier, they held, and I was showing the video of, they had a revival for him, because
Right.
he wanted to get more people believing in Jesus and being faith based, and it really worked. And you'll still see signs around Selma, Dallas County that say "Live like Caden" or have
Yeah.
the number 17. And we covered a lot of stories during the year about his helmet. All the
Mm-hmm.
kids wore his number on their helmets. So yeah, it was a tough year, for that. Very sad. And also they had a gathering at Selma High School for both students. That was supposed to be a prayer service. Um, so very sad, but we don't want to end on that kind of note, because 2025 is coming.
Yeah.
Next week, we will be doing a forward look to 2025. Where our print edition of the Selma Sun on January 22nd or January 2nd will have a forward look. And expect us to talk about elections because that's going to be big in 2025.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so I want to mention a couple more things before. One of them is, let me find it. Hang on. Coming in January is StoryCorps.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, so this is NPR's program, StoryCorps, where they do interviews with people, friends, family, where they interview each other in this Airstream. And it is archived in the National Archives, but it's also played for, and sometimes it's aired nationally. And it's whatever topic you want to talk about, it will be in Selma from January 9th to February 7th. They're going to record videos in person and it will be parked on Washington next to Carl C. Morgan Convention Center on Washington Street.
In that little parking lot right there between the library and the center.
Yes, and you can make a reservation at storycorps.org, and it's a /. Let's see. There is a Selma link to that.
Yeah.
Hopefully this goes to that. And then there's an 800 number, 850-4406. Alabama Public Radio out of Tuscaloosa is working with StoryCorps to help with the interviews. This is their 17th year, so almost 20 years they've been doing that. And they've never been to Selma. So the idea is to get local Black Belt voices. So that's really key. But they also have a project called Brightness in Black, which is to get Black voices to show positivity and culture. And that is a really cool project that I hope that folks will sign up for when they sign up for StoryCorps. All right. And then also, let me stop that. We always like to thank our sponsors.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Yes, Randall Miller has for all of 2024 been a huge sponsor of our newscast. And we appreciate them so much. Give a thoughtful final gift to your family by doing pre-planning. And you can do that at randallmillerfuneralservice.com. And you also can be a sponsor. So, and it's not hard. Just email us at news@blackbeltnewsnetwork.com if you would like to be a sponsor.
Please be a sponsor.
Yeah, we need you guys. But I also want to remind you guys that we are now able to take donations.
Yeah,
so
you can
support the work that we're doing. You can scan this QR code or go to blackbeltnewsnetwork.com and it'll come up. There's a bright red donate button, and it is tax deductible. So, and it will help us. We would like to hire some more people and get some more bodies out there. Although you guys, I know you guys have been really great to send your news to blackbeltnewsnetwork.com to help us. And you can also be I keep saying this, send your resume. You can be a community correspondent along with our other correspondents. We actually have a good 7 folks that help us out. They cover sports. We have a lot of sports friends, but we also have some really great features that we're getting out of the Black Belt, mostly in Dallas County. So we need you guys in these other counties to pitch in and help us out. Something else.
Cindy, speaking of reviewing in 2024 and our growth and news at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com. We also have Black Belt Outdoors.
I know. I was going to say that. So we actually expanded to the Black Belt Outdoors. And this is on Facebook and Instagram. Yes. You can follow us, and we have pictures of, deer during the hunting season. Yeah, this is a big time of year for the Black Belt.
So if you have a picture, and I didn't put up any video of this, I just now thought of it, but in 2024, we lost Big Daddy. February.
We did.
There's a
And
really neat memorial to him down at the T Pier in Roland Cooper, and we had a really nice memorial service to him. But it was out of that terrible situation that we've developed the Black Belt Outdoors and have started growing it bigger and bigger, because we can't be Big Daddy, and we can barely fill his footsteps, but we can at least kind of sort of take what we've learned from him and pass it on to you.
yes.
And that's what we're doing. So we need your help with that too. We need you to send us pictures, and maybe you have an outdoors event that we don't know about. Send it to us at Black Belt Outdoors at outdoors at blackbeltnewsnetwork.com, and let us know about what you've got going on.
Yeah, I want to show you. We went live with our camping series. Let me see if I can
camping
find
in the
it.
Black
Here
Belt.
it is. Let me see. Have I?
Speaking of outdoors.
Here we go. Yes, we went live this year with our Camping in the Black Belt.
Yeah.
Grist Park.
And that's Grist Park in Dallas County.
Yeah, in Dallas County. That was our first one.
And we got the second one when we did DeFosque Park in Marengo County. That'll be coming up in, a week or so. And then shortly after that, we'll have our third one that we did, which was at Roland Cooper State Park down in Wilcox County, which, of course, that's Big Daddy's favorite place. And it's one of our favorite places, too, after that camping trip.
Oh, my gosh. Roland Cooper was awesome. They have the best little homes, little tiny homes you can stay in.
I love those.
Cabins.
Well, we got some fantastic campsites in the Black Belt. So hopefully we'll be talking about that more, too.
Look for more, because we will be doing more. All right. I think I hit everything.
I think we hit a bunch.
That's a lot.
I'm sure we forgot some because so much has been going on.
I know it's been a busy 2024, but we look forward to seeing you guys in 2025. So next week's will be in the new year. So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And hope you have a safe New Year's Eve and a fun one. And I guess we'll see you next year.
We will see you guys next year.